Hi, welcome to another video on my fischertechnik monorail with motor and propeller driven, controlled by fischertechnik robo interface and the BeagleBoard, as you can see here. Last time I extended my monorail to twice the length, and I tried to get the carriage over the connection. Didn't quite succeed yet, but I also noticed that the back and forth going of the monorail was driven entirely by the sonar, while I also have the light sensor, and so far the light sensor only comes in working of course when the carriage is interrupting the light beam, but it only activates the light at the end of the track. So with this setting, larger than 5 or smaller or equal to 5, like this, the sonar is actually doing more than it should. So what I'm going to do is to disable this line and put all of this, and I will just copy it. I will copy it here, comment it here, and then here, whenever it says 0, which means that the light beam is interrupted, I can say okay, now the distance is so far that it is indeed larger than 5, but actually larger than 10 probably. This doesn't matter anymore, not that much. This does, because now you can set motor in the reverse direction. Oh, by the way, I see that I put it in a different way. It should not be here. It should be by T digital is 0. Here I should put it. Very different, very important. So I also put this here, because this line, these lines are for the digital switch that I still have in place, but these two are for the light, and this one, as if it is good, should work. And then of course another thing, this is sleep 1 for the control lamp, but it is much better to keep it here, so I put a comment here. So now it will print digital 80, then set the output lamp and reverse the motor. And now it gets interesting, because this is sleep for 1 second, and I don't think that will be right, but we'll see. We will just see how this works out. Let us first test it just when running. What happens, if anything? and that's a nice one, because it's not doing anything right now, because it is outside the 5 centimeters, and it is not yet in the light beam. So I have to change that. I guess that I should do something with here anyway. If it is larger than 5, and I think I should do that. If it is larger than 5 and not T-digital, and not T-digital 8, but which way do I want to go if it is larger than 5? I want it to, do I want to return to the light? Let me do that. I want it to return to the light, but then I should change this condition. And T digital and not T digital, I think that is an even better one, and not T digital 8. So then I can remove this one, remove this one, and remove this one. Let's see what happens then. Very curious. Let me run it. It still doesn't run, so I have to check on something. So the interesting situation right now is that there is the sonar, there is the light source with the beam going here, and the carriage is in between. So if I start the algorithm, the program, with the carriage right here, let's see what happens. The light goes on, that much is clear, but there's no propeller. Well, there's a propeller, but it doesn't do anything. So what I can do is use the diagnostics to check on the motor. So let's do that for now. Yes, activate the interface. Then the motor is on 2. Okay, let me move it by hand, and as you can clearly see, it is running fine. So from that perspective, everything works. Moving it back to its original place. It becomes clear that it is outside the 5 centimeters. Outside 5 centimeters. And outside this lamp. So the reasoning is, if it is in this location, so outside 5 centimeters, and this light is received, move it right there. what I can also do is put another set of this light somewhere here in the middle. I don't know what effect that would be or what good that will be, but anyway, I think that would be a nice idea to check. But let me first get this to work, and then of course if I move it manually, this is some hard time, and I'm not really sure why it is such a hard time. I have to investigate that as well, when keeping in mind that even at this side the track goes on for this length. So right here there's about half of it yet to come, and if I move this to the end of it, the track is really long, and this should hold. Anyway, time to adjust the program and see again if this works. So, getting back to the code. If t is larger than 5 and not digital 8, put it to the right, like this one, sleep 1. So actually that should work nicely, because here I change the direction to the right, and here I change the direction to the left. If it is not, oh wait, yes, if it is not, change it to the right, because here the light is interrupted. I should change it to T digital 1, that's the point. Now it will work, because now it will check on the light. If the light is received and the sonar is larger than 5 centimeters sonar distance, then do it. This should work. And that's a lot better. And now indeed, oh, that is interesting. The carriage is getting stuck in the construction that holds the two rails together. That is very interesting, and it propels forward. Now it reaches the end, and there it goes again. So with this situation, the idea works, but there's some mechanical issue to solve, or material issue to be more exact. I'll show on cam. So here is actually a very interesting situation. It wants to be propelled that way, but it is stuck here. If I put it here, there it goes. And there you see, it reaches the 5 centimeters and gets stuck. There it goes. So I need to pay attention to what it really is. Let me see. Here it gets stuck. The first hurdle it takes, and then it's over. The question is, why is it over? The first one is so easily taken. And it derails completely. As you can see, it derails totally and completely. And let me adjust this for a bit. Ooh. Something is not entirely correct, and I should also change this distance a bit, but that can wait until it nicely passes this obstacle. Let me see what happens here, because that may also be the point. Ooh. There's still something to work out, because here it responds immediately. Ah, look at that. Look at... Now this is interesting. Here it gets deconstructed. I'm not sure if you can see that, but here is a gap now. So let me put it on rails again. And it derails. And it has no power to overcome this. So now you see that the force that way is apparently stronger than that way. Oh, look at what happens now. It totally blew away the light cap. And that is of course not the intention at all. So let me hold the program for a bit. This is of course not needed. So a few programs. First of all, this construction, then this construction, and well, this need be to be a little bit better, like here. The wiring needs to be improved, and I don't like this as much as I thought. So, time to rethink. When looking at the carriage construction, I can see that this is at the end, but this is not at the end. So I move this forward, and with that I enlarge this distance, of course. So what happens if I move this by hand? It derails. And what happens with exactly the opposite? It derails too. and that is because of this. So I put it right there. I start the program. And there you go. Okay, so something has to be rethought. And if I put it here, it derails as easily as possible, and then it has no speed. So go on, forward, okay, and there you go. So right now, if I move the track a little bit and I put this right to its end, what happens then? You see that it completely bends through. At the distance it's a lot and it has some angle to overcome as well, as you can see. So it derails, now it can do nothing. I lift it and there it goes. On the other hand, if you look at this, there's another thing. It has nothing, which has everything to do with the distance to the sonar, which is right here, and the fact that the light is burning. So that may indicate as well that it will never reach the sonar, because this whole piece is satisfying the condition that it is large enough 5 centimeters away from the sonar and the light is burning, as now is. So apart from this condition, and this is not good, so I'll stop the program. This is not good at all. And that is experimenting in its full scope. And let me put things more like that. No, I have to put things like this. This is a little bit better, but then again I still have to support it, because if I move it this way and fix this part again, I've seen that it won't lift up, and with this it will run. So that means that I actually need to improve this, and I need another better condition for this entire part. So the thought of putting lights like this in a location here isn't so bad. The question is thus is only, how do I do that? And that's a very interesting question. So let's think about that. So when doing some construction and reconstruction and thinking, first I put this together in exactly the same way. Then what I was thinking about with those lights, lamp and receiver, I want to put it in the middle. So I'm taking another wire, and since this existing one, is leading to here, I put this one in the same way but shifted one position. So this is going here, and here, and that leads to, let me keep it exactly the same as the other one, green to red, and this one here. So that is one, leaving the other in a motor port, and one of the available ports is, for example, let's see, 7. So that will be green here, and red has to be connected to, let me shift this away, it has to be connected to this combination wherever is available, which is here. So, and then the other end of the wire is going to be connected to this lamp, which is also a lens lamp. So that is output 7, which I'm going to test right now. Open interface, select, and then output 7, which would be this one, and yes, that is working perfectly fine. And now I'm holding it in front of the receiver, and I see that input 7 is perfectly responding. So that connection is working, and now I have to put it somehow in here. Which leads me to another thought, because let me put this way, this out of the way momentarily. If I close the interface, if I put the program in working, this is clearly the case. So it can skip 1, but I can't do that here because already now it is not optimal. But what I can try is to see how it behaves on just 1. So let me just try that for a moment. This one here half, and this one. I don't think it will work, but who knows. and that's the whole point. So when I hold it up, and that will be the whole problem, so this is not going to work out. I need to find a nice solution, and a much better one, before this is holding out. And without this solved, and when you see the whole track, the software can wait, because this needs a solution, or I can rebuild the original one, which is much shorter but less fun. So let me build it back. And this one, much more stable. But anyway, I guess that's it for now. New parts already in place, or kind of. So to be continued. Thank you for watching. And please, if you like my videos, subscribe, visit my website, and see what other projects I have running.